Well, I cannot wait for you to meet the next guest on our podcast. Sam is a Minneapolis public school student. He is an entrepreneur, a visionary, a leader, and he really enjoys not only leading and creating and being innovative for himself, but inviting others into that opportunity. And so he's going to talk to us today about what it feels like to lead, why leaders need to be diverse, why students need to lead, and why students need to open the way for other students to lead. He's created multiple TikTok channels with lots of followers. He has created businesses and really and truly is looking for ways always to innovate and create with other people. So I cannot wait for you to hear today from Sam. Listen in as we start belonging in classrooms. Hi, Sam. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell me, you are a Minneapolis public school student. You're an entrepreneur. You are an innovator and a creator. But I think what's really interesting about your story is the way that you like to make sure other people have those experiences as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to go through some questions, but then we might have to talk about all of the things you've created and innovated as we go along. So talk to me first about like how being in leadership in Minneapolis public schools specifically has like impacted you.
I feel like it's really helped me out on my social skills and just how others perceive me. I feel like it's really helped on my leadership skills because I'm put in a position where I have to make decisions. And I feel like since I've been able to do that, it's been super beneficial for me.
Yeah. So talk to me. I know you're in your students council, but talk to me about what it's like to be on the citywide student council.
It can sound pretty nerve-wracking, but it's quite the opposite of that because you're just with a community of everyone who wants to do the same thing as you, and they're all from different backgrounds. So we all work really well together, and it's been really fun. Although it just started, like we've already come up with so many good ideas to make sure the student body is like well and okay, and that we're there to support them and be their voice.
Interesting. And about how many students are on the citywide student council?
I'd say, I think there's like maybe around 30 to 35 I think.
Yeah. Wow. What gave you the idea to go for it? Why did you apply?
Well, I've always like had entrepreneurship and like since I was a little kid. So like another leadership role like just kind of spiked out to me. I was like, why not apply for it and see what happens? And so...
Okay, so how has being in leadership impacted the way people around you perceive you? Like, how does it change the way educators see you? How does it change the way your family sees you and your friends?
Well, I feel like after I was put in that leadership position, I feel like for educators at least, people took me way more seriously, which is kind of sad how they like anything I would say maybe about like a question or concern, it get dismissed. But as soon as I was put in that leadership position and they noticed that I was in it, it kind of like turned their heads around and made them actually pay attention to what I was saying. So it's obviously a positive impact, but it's kind of sad how that impact happened as soon as I was put in that position.
So what would you say to a student who's at their school? And, you know, I get to talk to former graduates all the time, right? Adults. And there are a lot of people who still hold the idea deep in their bodies that they were like a bad kid in the school or not wanted or that teachers didn't like them. What would you say to them about the risk of trying to go for leadership?
I would say don't even second guess yourself. Just do it because you never know what can happen. Because I know all the time I create these fake scenarios in my head that this is going to happen, this is going to happen if I do it. And eventually I did end up doing it. But when I didn't, none of those scenarios happened. So I'd really just say don't second guess yourself because you never know. Most of the time it's going to be a positive thing that's going to come out of it.
Wow. And do you think you learned a little bit more about your ability to speak up?
Definitely, for sure, because you're kind of put on the spotlight because your peers want to hear from you. They want to know what they can do to improve. So I feel like it really gave me the motivation to speak up on problems I wanted to change. So I think it's been really beneficial. And
if I remember right from talking, you've been creating and innovating and trying things. And there's something about trying things. So what was like the first business you remember trying?
I'd say the first business that I started out, it was a slime business back in like second, third grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? And you got this idea in your head. You're like,
Yes.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this, sell this, make some money.
Exactly.
And what do you remember feeling like when you were done with that, or when you made it? What was that feeling like?
It was really appealing. It was like you could say all the hard work. Although it wasn't for a third, second grader, it was hard work. But when you look at it now, it's just putting glue and activator into a bowl. But back then, it felt good. It was like a really satisfying relief to be able to do all that.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. Do you think back to that second and third grader whenever you feel intimidated about trying it?
Yeah, because it really sets out like a good role model, like my younger self to myself, that you were able to do that. Go ahead and do everything else, because that feeling of achieving what you wanted to do is such a good feeling.
Wow. Okay, so speaking of that, I know that you have a couple ideas around in your head right now.
Right.
Why don't you talk about we're going to have lots of opportunity, but tell me about something you're working on right now.
So there's two main things I'm working on right now. Right now, I just started, the idea. So basically in sophomore year, I had this idea of creating a business club, because I've been doing business ever since I was a little kid. So I wanted to be able to teach others how to do it, and also let other students engage in activities of business. But I also wanted to give back to the community. So I decided, why not combine business and giving back to the community into one? And so I decided to form this club called Business for the Youth. And it started at Southwest, and it's been really good. And our school does days on the first or second week of school where kids can go sign up for the club. And our club got almost around 100 signups.
Wait, okay, hold up. You got your school to let you do a club during school hours that helps other students learn about business.
Yes.
And you have 100 students in your school doing your club.
Yes. Although a lot of times it's not consecutively because they have other things to do. Sure. But overall, we got 100 students to sign up. So it was a really fun and exciting thing. Yeah.
Okay, now I want to know a little bit more. What kinds of topics are you discussing?
So we do one meeting once a month because everyone has so many things to do. But a lot of the communication is done via text messages or whatever and social media. But when we meet, we kind of have a new topic we talk about every day, every month, just the introduction of the business, what our goals are this year. And our most recent one was fundraising. And so we're planning on doing a bake sale in a few weeks. It's not really a bake sale, but our school calls it a bake sale, but we're going to be selling Raising Cane's at our school.
Oh, yeah. Someone baked it.
Right, yeah. And basically, with all that money we raise, we're going to save it up, and then at the end of the year, donate it to a charity picked by all the students who are in a club.
Yeah.
So
amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
Well, that's really innovative. I mean, it's not always easy to get a public school to listen to a student. Definitely. Or any school to listen to a student. That's so great. And you said you had another idea.
Yeah. So my mom, as a side thing, she started helping out medical and just any interpreting for Afghan refugees who came here back in 2021. And so they speak a language called Dari, which is Persian descent. It's really similar to Persian or Farsi, either one. And so my mom was telling me about these kids and how great they are. And the only thing is their resources are so limited, and they don't know the language. They just came to a new country. Everything is really new. So that kind of sparked an idea in my head to start a program that allows students, high school students, to go work with refugee kids, underprivileged kids, or any kid really in need that needs help with education, the support and access they need to be able to get that extra support from the high school student.
Wow. I remember, this is bringing me back when I was in college. I had a roommate who really struggled to learn. Right. And I really believe that I was successful in college because helping her study, by the time she got it, I really had it, right?
No, it works on all sides.
Yeah. And I think it can really help students to see themselves as what they could be or what they're interested in.
Definitely. Yeah, it opens a lot of doors.
Wow, that's incredible. How are you going to find the kiddos?
So, and obviously a lot of the kids who came from Afghanistan. They're put in a lot of Minneapolis public schools and stuff. And I have a lot of friends that go to all the different schools.
Yeah.
So, and like their elementary schools and stuff. So I want to be able to talk to like MPS board as in the adults and see if we can implement this organization that allows the kids to go back to their elementary schools and allow them to work with the kids.
That's so incredible. I think
you.
MPS will absolutely be reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now tell me a story about a memory that you have in MPS where you were impacted the most.
Probably the most recent that I can think of and most impactful was probably back in sophomore year. So basically there's a club at our school called International Club, and allows all students from all different backgrounds to come and meet up. And the club is ran by students, but obviously there's an advisor for it, and that advisor is my freshman math teacher. Her name's Platica Nova. And so she and all the students decided to do this event one day at school that allows kids to kind of set up stands throughout the lunchroom with all their different nationalities at the booths and stuff, and students can go up there, learn from them, have their food. And so I think it was really impactful for me because it opened up a different perspective on all these different cultures, and for my friends and just everyone around me. And I think that was a really impactful thing. Wow,
that's amazing. So I think we talked a lot of different things. Is there anything else that you're just like burning for the Minneapolis public school supporter community to know about? I hear you have a little bit of a TikTok following.
Yeah. So during quarantine, I was really bored. And so I always liked doing something. So I was like,
really? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, why not create a TikTok? I didn't tell any of my friends about it because I kind of wanted to be secret.
Yeah.
So I just created this username, and then I just started posting videos. At first, it was like kind of cringy, funny videos. And then I also wanted to educate people on things. So I started giving resources out to kids who would like to find a job at their age.
What?
13 through 16 years old, and just kind of like pop culture facts, like fun facts, just anything that are like revolves around like our generation and like the things that we like.
Yeah.
And so those videos began to get really popular, and within maybe close to a year, I generated almost over 200,000 followers.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But I kind of stopped doing it because when I don't like doing something, I'm honest to myself, and like regardless, companies started reaching out to me. I was making money. It was fun, but it wasn't something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to force myself to do something I didn't enjoy. So I kind of stopped making the videos, but the accounts is up, and 50 people still like view my videos a day and stuff. So it's fun to see that people are still viewing and liking my videos.
Yeah.
But I think it was a really cool thing that I had that was going on.
Okay. I think that I'm almost 50 years old. It took me a lot of therapy, a lot, to get to the point where I would say, like, I'm allowed to enjoy something or not enjoy
100%.
something or stop. So the fact that you're here, that you're creating, that you're not just doing that selfishly, but thinking about those you can have an impact on and how you can expand your creativity. And also, like, when you're done. It's just really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast today. Thanks for talking about how you belong in Minneapolis public school classrooms. I cannot wait to hear more about the program I am sure you're going to develop for students.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.